the last I heard, in just 1 year, they have picked up something like, together with the community, 117 tons of trash. What we want to do is to create and provide a platform where these stories are not just local in nature, but global, because I think it could inspire people in other countries, to do something that's so meaningful, deeply meaningful for their communities. Now, at the same time, we talk about global. At the same time, it is super important, and that's the reason why we have so many employees that we've hired across Southeast Asia and here in Indonesia, because there's this strong element of the ecosystem that is very, very local. And this is beyond content. For example, globally, we have great education content like Book Talk. Book Talk, we have something, our STEM feed is doing very well in the US, for example. But here, there's a hashtag called Sama-sama Belajar, which, sorry, my bahasa is Singaporean is not that great. But it means learning together, and it has 110 billion views in just one language. It's incredible, and that's deeply sort of localized. So we need to make sure that we're building this global platform for interoperability, while at the same time investing more in deepening the local context.
In the spirit of talking about global interoperability and also deepening local context, Shou, I think you know that Indonesia is large and we have diverse user base on TikTok, and the election is coming. That's also some of the burning questions that the journalists and also media have over here. And this is not an experience that only Indonesia is encountering. But then again, the question is that how do we as a platform ensure the integrity during elections, not only in Indonesia, but also around the world?
Yes, in our journey as a company over the last few years, we've underwent a few election cycles in many countries, and we have learned a lot of lessons along the way and collaborated to ensure that we preserve the word you use here is integrity. We know that the responsibility that we have is to provide a platform for important expression and people to discuss. And it is very important that we preserve the integrity of that platform. So for example, we create election hubs where we increase the resources to identify and remove hate speech, harmful disinformation, while at the same time preserving this freedom of expression so people can express themselves. Now at the same time, as a platform, our mission is to inspire creativity and to bring joy. And we know we are an important platform for expression and discussion, but at the same time, we do not want to profit off any of these election cycles. So as a matter of policy globally, we do not take any we do not take any political advertising dollars as a platform. So there's a lot of work that we do, but the keyword that you identified is what we care about, which is integrity of the platform.
Thank you. And then as a father, I know you get these questions a lot, and this has come up repetitively, but it still keep on coming up and people are still curious. But do you allow your children to watch TikTok?
Oh, okay. So my children are below the age of 13. In the United States, we have an experience for children under 13 to use TikTok, and we're very proud of that product. It's very, very safe. We go through with our third-party child safety experts, review of every single piece of content that's on that platform. So when my kids are in the US, I'm more than happy for them to use that experience. Now, outside of the United States, we currently do not have an under 13 experience, and it is very important that we identify under 13s who are using the general experience and remove them from the platform.
And then as the CEO of TikTok, I imagine you scroll a lot on TikTok. And then sometimes we are curious, what's in your For You feed? Maybe there's something from Southeast Asia?
Yes. So I do spend a lot of time going through the content. My feed is really sort of a lot around humorous content. I guess that's what I like. A lot of jokes, a lot of videos that I actually have a lot of dad jokes in my video feed, but I do enjoy making sure that in every country I travel to, try to understand what is the local content ecosystem, meet with the local creators. I had the chance to do this in Indonesia just a couple of nights ago. A few weeks ago, I was in Vietnam. I was in South Korea. I was in Vancouver, Canada, and pictures, gives me a better sense of what's happening within the country. And it's always inspiring and fascinating.
Yes, every time somebody asking me about what I like about TikTok, I just want to laugh. Like, it brings joy. So you're doing a good job in terms of bringing the mission of the company, Shou, I believe. Okay, so we already have a pre-submitted question before we are opening the opportunity for, yes, I see so many hands, but time is of the essence. I will only have 3 opportunities, but I have 1 pre-submitted question that Shou can perhaps answer first. We've been talking a lot about impact, but what kind of impact are we trying to make in the future, especially in Southeast Asia and also in Indonesia?
I'm asking that question. I posted a video yesterday. Feel free to stitch it and tell me the impact that TikTok has had on your life. Shou.time, that's my account, if you don't follow it. Of the many things, I think there are 2 that stand out to me right now. The first is, as our content ecosystem deepens and diversifies, a few years ago, there was a lot of dancing and performing and singing on our platform, which is great and I love it, it's joyful. But increasingly, we see other verticals like education, taking off on our platform. We talked about Sama-Sama Belajar here in this country. We talked about Book Talk. We talked about Stand Feed. And I think the usefulness of TikTok is evolving. And I'm hearing a lot of stories from people who tell me that they learned something on TikTok or they found a community, and through that community has really had a deep impact on their lives. So, our goal is to make sure that we continue to build on this and diversify and deepen the content ecosystem. So that's one. The second is that because TikTok is so special in the way that we allow people to discover, for those who use our app, you will know that, because of the way we provide a recommendation feed rather than a social graph, if you have good content, you can be easily discovered on TikTok. So that discovery has allowed many great entrepreneurs to build their businesses on our platform. There's a booth over there. I was just, speaking to a few entrepreneurs. 70%, 80% of their products, some are new startups, some are 20-year-old family businesses, are sold through our platform today. And I think it's amazing because we are lowering the friction and the barrier for brands to be able to communicate the information to their users. And at the same time, the users can ask questions in the live stream. So, today, 2 million small businesses transact on the Indonesian e-commerce platform for TikTok today. Now, beyond e-commerce, I think we power 5 million small businesses in Indonesia and 15 million across the entire Southeast Asia. And I think it's really important that we continue to invest to foster this local entrepreneurship to make sure that we are benefiting the local economies that we are operating in.
Thank you, Shou. I would like to invite everybody to also later on visit the exhibition area so that you get to see and experience what Shou was talking about. So maybe the gentleman over here, please. If somebody can help give the microphone.
Yeah.
Hang tight a little bit. Yes. Feel free. Kindly state your name and media.
Hello, hi. My name is Hilal Azmi. Coming from Astro Awani, Malaysia. Okay, since we know that the content has been so diverse, and on the news perspective, there is a lot of misinformation that we need to combat too. So, I would like to ask you, maybe, would TikTok consider in having more partnership in terms of experimenting to utilize the potential that TikTok has to work with the media company across Southeast Asia, especially to make sure that the content or the real fact being shared across the platform. Because at the same time, currently the news industry across the region is in a deep. It's a very challenging time for news industry right now. So would you like to explore more on the news partnership and how can newsroom can have a new revenue stream through TikTok?
Thank you. I think there are 2 separate things here. On your question on harmful misinformation, we take this extremely seriously. we published something called Community Guidelines, which is available online. And you can see that the section under harmful misinformation, if we identify harmful misinformation, we will remove them from our platform. Now, in order for us to do this, we not only employ experts in-house, but we work with many third-party domain experts that have the domain expertise, particularly for local context. So this is an ongoing thing that we're doing anyway, and many partnerships exist. It is a sophisticated challenge for the entire industry, including the media industry. So it's something that we want to tackle in collaboration with more experts, particularly locally. On your second question, I think it's slightly different. We welcome all of you to onboard on TikTok. And you can start your account. And of course, with the great content that you publish, try and get as many followers as you can. Now, together with our team, we want to explore different ways for you to be able to monetize that later in the future once you have a lot of followers. But I believe, the first step is to make sure that we produce good content and post them on TikTok. And we have a lot of partners globally who are doing that. Some are, I don't think you need to deviate from your editorial tone, but you may need to adapt it, for the demographic that you're targeting on our platform. I think this is a very exciting field. I see more areas of collaboration than any perceived competition. I actually think that this is an area we can work together on. And we welcome all of you to on board on our platform.
Thank you. And we can have one more question. The lady in front. Please.
Hi, my name is Johannes from Indonesia. I want to ask about, yesterday you met with our Minister of Trade, and there are a rumor that that the talk will invest 10 million US dollar in the next 10 years. Is it true?
As a matter of principle, I like to keep private meetings private. But the commitment that we have in the region is very clear. We will invest billions of dollars over the next 3 to 5 years. We have already grown from almost 100 people in the region, employees, to, when I say region, I mean Southeast Asia, to almost 8,000 employees today. And we have nearly 2,000 employees who are working on TikTok in Indonesia. We see our growth opportunity here to be very immense. And we look forward to investing more in this country and of course in the region. The one thing I would add here is Southeast Asia is my home. I grew up in Singapore. I first came to Indonesia when I was 6. I was sharing this story. I checked with my family. It was to Lake Toba. We treat this as our home neighborhood, and not like a far-flung destination. So we want to invest proportionately based on the opportunity that it presents and also the proximity it is to our home base. So this is a very exciting time for us here.
Thank you so much, Shou, for being here with us and spending time. With this, I am going to close this session, and I would like to excuse you as well.
Thank you very much.
Because I know you have another meeting. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, our media friends, for joining this media session. And then with that, I'm Anggini Setiawan signing off, and we'll see you again when we see you. Thank you.